vállalatot nálad?
In my life, I've worked with many multinational companies from Korea, from US, from Europe and Netherlands, and so on.
2014-től 2017-ig az Apollo Tires Hungary-nek voltam az egyik vezetője.
From 2014 to 2018, I was one of the top management for Apollo Tires, Hungary, Europe.
Egy rendkívül modern, state-of-the-art gyárat építettünk Magyarországon, az Apollo részére.
We built a latest technologically advanced factory for Apollo in Europe.
Kiváló, zseniális indiai kollégákat tudtam megismerni, és dolgozhattam velük együtt.
I worked with Indian management in Apollo India, and we worked with very intelligent and smart people.
Életem egyik legszebb időszaka volt.
It was one of my most beautiful experiences in my life.
Nagyon megszerettem az indiai embereket.
I truly love Indian people.
Szerettem velük együtt dolgozni.
We love to work together with Indians.
És ezért javasoltam Klausnak, hogy Indiában próbáljunk ajánlatot adni az indiai kamionsofőröknek.
And that's the reason I informed Klaus and BATON Transport that they should recruit drivers only from India. Thank you. Their contracts, right? And then eventually, if they are interested, then they could look at it in the future. That's all.
Could you please explain who's going to be training these women at one point? And you've mentioned, Mr. Klaus has mentioned, 800 people are already there on board. Or is it the 800 people will be brought on board? Just for clarification.
BATON Transport.
Yeah.
BATON Transport has got 800 employees right now, out of which probably about 20 Indian people right now.
Yeah.
Around 20 Indian drivers are out of this 800.
All male.
Yeah, all male, right?
Yeah.
And their vision is to double that. That means to bring it to 1600. And in this 1600, in this next 800, they would like to have a good percentage of women also. That is what I think. I'm just reiterating what Klaus has said. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, but you don't have a pakka figure on.
Not now. We are working. That's why we're working with NGOs. This cannot be achieved alone by BATON or by Banyai or by Mega. We need to per month.
That is a resident of Hungary. I'm talking about a Hungarian person.
A Hungarian person also earns the same.
The same.
Yes.
So this would be the same as some.
As Hungarian. In Europe, you cannot make distinction between a foreigner, third country national, and an EU citizen. European rules and regulations are very strict and very firm on these points.
And when these women go there, they go alone. They don't go with their families.
Women go alone, but there is something in the EU regulations which says family union. So every woman has the right. It's a basic right of a third country national who's got a residence card in Europe. They can sponsor their wife or husband, right? And the husband and children, they can join them in Europe. This is a basic rule. It's called the family union.
So they'll be having the residence card.
Yes. Work visa. It's a work permit.
In recruiting drivers from India to Hungary. So that was why it was chosen to India. And when we were starting with the first wave of drivers, I was also participating in the screening interviews. And that was where one woman showed up. And she was really nice, and she was having the great motivation. But when she went further to the practical test, that was where she failed. She could not get the requirements that we needed in order to bring her to Europe. And that was where I got the idea, say, here, there is something that we can do here. I know that we would have to build it up. Here, we cannot just find them in India. We have to educate them and train them. But after that, I can make sure that they have the right work in Europe.
ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಲೇಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ಸ್ಗಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಬೆಲ್ ಐಕಾನ್ ಬಟನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಒತ್ತಿ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.